it's really hard to, every after every festival, sometimes when everyone's performing, it's a big concert or a big opera, and I'm just sitting here and I think I'm looking at it from afar and I see that there's a full house, and then you get a moment of pride, like, wow, all of this is here because of all that sweat and work I've done all year long or over the years, like, and it's humbling, and it feels like wow, like, this and there's always that moment that happens, every year. So it's not just, where there's a big show, but um I think the success of the mapping concerts that we've done has exceeded my expectations. It started as a dream of when I went to Disneyland 10 years ago, and with my son, and we saw some mapping on one of the castles, and we're like, wow. And that's cool. My wife and I, and she said, hey, can we do that for the festival? And I was like, no, we could never do that, but because, I'm like, how am I ever gonna, but the bug stuck, and I always wanted to do it. And we were getting into naturally the old way of projecting on a screen for an opera. I mean, people have been doing that for 50 years. We were doing it. We hired projection designers, and they would do, the background of the show. And but I had this idea of, um, I wanted to put people inside the show. That was my idea. They need to be in the show, not just sitting far away, and seeing it in a distance. And I had the dream to do it. Couldn't afford it. Couldn't even come close to doing it, and it just kind of stayed in the back burner there. And then I got into, for Christmas, house projection mapping. I joined a group on Facebook of people, of families that and people that just do it on their house for holidays. And I loved it. And my first learning of doing it was from that group. And they would post forums and links. Oh, you can take this class, or you can do this. And I did it on my house for Christmas. Had people lined up all across the block. I borrowed projectors from people. Had performers. Had an Elsa for Frozen. Had a Santa as a neighbor. Had another neighbor was the Grinch, and people, loved it. And that kind of was got me thinking, like, you know what, I can make this a concert. And where did I do it first? The Betsy. I was like, this Betsy's got all these white walls and a park to see. This is perfect. Like, and so I took the projectors that we owned already for the old style of projecting, and I did a Valentine's Day concert right after Christmas, for the Betsy. And I got alumni to sing, did it with, tracks, and I did exactly what I did would do on my house. And I did it on the Betsy, and with my old, with they weren't, the older projectors. And the mayor came and the commissioners came, and everyone was like, wow, look at this, mixing music and visuals. Um, and I then just started thinking, asking the commissioners and the mayor, hey, wouldn't it be great if I did the whole block? did the whole block down. And of course, everyone's like, yeah, that would be amazing. And that got me thinking, what do I need to do? I need to get more projectors. And I don't know how it happened. I was in the right place at the right time, but I found out about the GeoBond, and that the other organizations in Miami Beach were getting, significant funding, millions of dollars. And it's a wonderful thing that happened, that the city was able to afford that. And I just went all in, and I lobbied for a year to get on that list. And they put me on the list, and they got me the equipment, $1.5 million worth of equipment. And since then, now I have I've done the Festival of Lights 2 years in a row now, and last year is thousands of people a day coming in like it's a yearly tradition. Build now I'm building a village in the park with vendors and and all the works, and there's my little Christmas house show is now turned into a full block